And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night, as we just wrapped up with the ESL Open Cup America's replay cast, and now we are here with something else, with the Christmas Cup Round of 8 group stage, also a replay cast. For those that are curious, we were supposed to cast this live. These events occurred last night, 24 hours ago. Last night, these matches were played out, and ideally, we were hoping to finish up OSC King of the Hill, which we were casting last night, leading into Christmas Cup. OSC King of the Hill lasted 5 hours. It lasted 5 hours. By the time it ended, Christmas Cup was wrapping up, so we missed out on it, unfortunately, but shout out to the players, shout out to the organizers, replays were provided, and we can catch up on the round of 8. And we're on a bit of a timer because, fun fact, last night was the round of 8, and tonight, in 2.5 hours, we're going to be casting live the round of 4, the semifinals and the finals of this event of the Christmas Cup 2023. And yeah, so we have 2.5 hours to quickly go over the group stage, go over the round of 8, and get ready for our live coverage of the round of 4. Now, because we're on a bit of a timer, I do have a lot of replays. And the way that this is, the way this works is that there are two groups of 4, and they are GSL groups here with 4 players. Because we're in a bit of a timer, we will be going over only the qualifying matches, the winners match and the decider match. There are other matches that did play out, and we could cover them as well, but I don't think we have the time to do so. I think if we did, then we would be going into the live cast of the round of 4, and that's not ideal. So we're going to be getting into the winners match here. Here we go. We're in Group A. We're in Group B. Here in Group B, we have Wayne as well as Shameless going to be duking it out. Nickeract is also in this group as well. Wayne was able to win his series. Shameless able to win his own. Shameless did go up 2-1 against Nickeract, and Wayne was able to bring down his opponent as well. I believe Wayne, he was able to bring down Wannabe Björn. I keep missing Wannabe Björn. I want to cast him. So Wayne was able to bring down Wannabe Björn. Shameless took down Nickeract, and now they're facing off here in the winners match in a ZvP. And I'm excited. If you have been tuning into the CranKy Ducklings over the past month, past 2 months, you would know that we've been casting a lot of Shameless recently, and he's been impressing us. And for Shameless to make it this far already in the tournament is very impressive. I'm very impressed with how much he's improved in what seems to be a short period of time. And now he's up against one of the best Zerg players in all of Europe. He's up against Wayne. Oh boy. Again, ESL Open Cup Americas was mainly full of Protoss and Terran, but now we get to embrace a little bit of Zerg action. A little bit. As we're getting ready for game number 1 in this best of 3. As a reminder, these are all best of 3s. Best of 5s are reserved for the live broadcast in a couple of hours. That's where the best of 5s and best of 7s will be held. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardland, we have a red Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. For those that are curious as to what this event is, like Christmas Cup, wasn't Christmas like last year? It's like, yes, it was. This event did begin in December of last year, that is true, but the event began with some of the lower leagues. We actually had a bronze edition of this tournament, we have a silver edition, gold edition, platinum, diamond, masters, and then the pro edition, the finale. So we've been working through all the leagues, and over time, and as a result, it did take some time, to take a couple of weeks to go through all those leagues, of course, all those tournaments, all those matches, and now we are here where the pros are duking it out. So it was really cool to see the organizers of this event actually give some opportunity and give some prize money to players of lower leagues like bronze and diamond and platinum and gold. So it was really cool to see that, as we, of course, now diving into the finale here. It all ends in, well, from here on forward, with our top 8 players. The top 8 in the region. I say in the region, I mean this was open to all players from all regions, and this is who we do have left. For now, Wayne going to be forced to take the unnatural natural, going for a hatch gas pool opener. Shameless going for a gate expand into the side of the core standard openers overall. Wayne forced into a more uncomfortable position, but outside of that, things are looking as they should. The other big thing about this event, for those that are curious, the Christmas Cup does have a pretty hefty prize pool. I believe it's, what, almost 3,000 USD? 3,000 USD, and top 16 get paid out. So these players, they're already in the money, they're already making some bank here, but we are looking to go even further in this tournament, even further into the top 4, into the finals. Right, just won a Caspian. Just won a Caspian. True. I always miss him, Papi. I always miss him. As here we go. We do have a bit of a Stargate opener out of Shameless. Pretty standard stuff here. Going to be Stargate opener. Should be into Oracle. Should be into a third base location. Meanwhile, Wayne back at home still just droning on up, getting into the swing of things, getting into our game. Getting ready for said mid-game. Nothing out of the norm yet. When it comes to Shameless and how much he's been improving over time, again, he has been looking impressive. And what's been impressive as well is that it hasn't been cheese. Like, he hasn't been cheesing his way through the tournaments or going for all these all-ins. It's been pretty stock standard. I mean, he has had aggression, don't get me wrong. He has been committed in some of his builds, but overall has kind of worked towards the mid-game. Has worked towards the mid-game overall. As Adept's going to be threading that mineral line. Link's going to be on the way. Second Adept has arrived, and we are going Phoenix first. Interesting. Okay, not Oracle. We're going for the Phoenix. The power of this Phoenix, of course, is to shut down Overlords and to deny the scout of Wayne, to keep the Zerg player in the dark. And that's going to be diving into the mineral line, going to be threatening those drones, forcing quite a lot of less mining time. And up, we get one. We get one drone for our troubles. Meanwhile, the Phoenix does arrive. He's going to be forcing back this Overlord. And typically when we go for something like a Phoenix opener, we have potential to go for something hidden behind this. Something like Glaive at Depths, maybe double Stargate into Sky Toss, potentially a charge all-in, or standard play. Doesn't have to be something crazy, but it could be. Was the Lings, they do arrive, they shut down the Probe, they shut down the Adepts, and we are looking for a cancel on this Nexus. And where is the Oracle? How do we defend? The Oracle comes in just in time and up! Can we save it? Can we save the base? We barely can. The Nexus will live. Oh boy. Bit of a scary moment. The downside of going Phoenix first is that your Oracle is delayed. And your base is vulnerable, but we do keep it alive. As the Phoenix is looking for another Overlord. And we will find one. We will manage to get another Overlord across the map. Behind this, ooh, interesting. We're not going for a Twilight Council, we're going for a Forge and a Robo. This is a very tech-heavy style. This is similar to how Showtime and Creator play out PvZ. For those that are curious, there's no Twilight Council, which means no charge, no glaives, no blink, no real way to really be too active on the map anytime soon. We're focusing on upgrades and teching up. So a very defensive style. Very defensive. We're going to be here for a while. Meanwhile, Wayne behind this, he's droning up. We're getting into +1 melee. Working towards, I imagine, Lingbane Roach Ravager. Lingbane Hydra has fallen off. As much as I dislike that, like I love the variety and I love seeing Lingbane Hydra, we don't really get to see it too often anymore. It's a relatively risky way to play. Baneliness has been thrown down. We will be droning on up, saturating our bases. Immortal production has commenced, and we should soon be working towards a fast robotics bay. Into a fast bay, second robo, double Colossus production. That's typically where this leads us, but we'll see. As Link's going to be threatening this third base. Oh! The wall is a wall. We do get us around. We can maybe pick up a probe. We do get one. And we're going for quite a gateway explosion behind this. We're getting to Void Rays? Question mark? Okay. So instead of taking up into Colossi, we are continuing Immortal production. We're going for a massive gateway explosion as well. How many gateways? Going to be 7 in total. Void Ray production recommencing here for Shameless, and yeah, this is interesting. I'm really curious to see how this all comes together. Oracle's getting across the map. They get a couple of drones. The Queens, they come in from behind, and we do shot one of them down. A big pick off. Oracle does fall. There's that Roach Warden on the way. As we mentioned, should be Lingbane Roach Ravager. It is going to be the composition of choice for Wayne. Very robust army here in the mid-game. And we are going for a Soul Train-esque push. Off of 3 bases, we have Immortals, Sentries, a couple of Void Rays. It's going to be an amalgamation of a Protoss army, but we'll have potential. Behind this, oh, we have Wayne sneaking out a Spire. Spire is on the way for me to play. And we'll see if Shameless can break Wayne before he can get into those mutas. Fourth base soon to be taken. The Immortals have been revealed. Ooh, a big scout there for Wayne. He's amassing roaches. Shameless, he is pushing. Again, there's no blink, there's no charge, no glaives. We're relying on force fields. Force fields, they need to be looking good here for Shameless. As we're pushing out on 3 bases, we are very committed with this. No gases have been taken here at the 3rd. Queens are amassing. Ravagers are on the way. 7 Ravagers in production. They still need a little bit more time. And they come out just in time. Force fields is thrown down. Biles will connect. Oh. They do force back the army. We do have a lot of Stalkers that we're breaking through. Oof. Biles, they take down the shields. They take down the Stalker. The Immortals looking very vulnerable, and one of them is going to get picked up. The Biles, they take down an Overlord, but it looks like, can we barely hold on? The boys are being pulled. They have to be. The Roach Ravager looking very exposed. We need more lanes. The Biles barely do miss. Do you manage to save that Immortal? It looks like Shameless. Do we break through? Do we clean this up? Every single worker is falling. We have more boys being pulled. We have to. We have to pull the boys once again. The Biles, they will connect. We barely hold. We barely bring down that prison. And we will barely clean this up, but not without taking damage. 22 drones went down. That was an insane push out of Shameless. But again, the Warpin was denied, and he's forced to back off. Behind this, Shameless does have a higher worker count. He has a better economy. He's on 67 workers, but he lost his army. He is down in supply here. He barely has anything to work with. As the Oracle is looking for more drone kills. Getting another worker. And Wayne from here has a lot of recovering to do. Now, thankfully for Wayne, he was able to reset the Immortals and the Prism. Honestly, imagine if that Prism hadn't gone down, if the Biles didn't connect with one of those Immortals either, I think Shameless maybe breaks through. I think maybe he wins. Maybe he does manage to break Wayne then and there, but alas, he barely didn't have enough. And now Shameless is stuck at home, and we're in a really awkward position because we were pretty committed and pretty all in with that attack. 4th base is now on the way. What I mean by that is, without the Twilight Council, we're really lacking in upgrades. We're really lacking in how we can really round out this army. These are vanilla Zealots and vanilla Stalkers. This army is quite vulnerable and is being left behind. Tech-wise, we have +2 on the way. Roach speed, Baneling speed. Spire, I believe. Yeah, the Spire was cancelled. It had to be. Oracle gets more drone kills. 4 more workers go down. The damage being dealt here by Shameless. Oh! Gets another drone. Gets another 2. Very impressive. Behind this, we're getting to Archon, Storm. Temple Archives on the way. Again, Shameless, he still needs more time to recover. Still needs more time to build up. And we're throwing down cannons, and because Shameless is stuck at home, Wayne, he is rebuilding. He's droning up once again, getting up to 80 workers, another hatchery on the way. I think that maybe the play for Shameless maybe should have been to rebuild the Prism first and get ready for a counterattack and go for a second all-in. But even then, I don't know if that would have worked. Just because Wayne was also rebuilding his own Roach Ravager army. Here we go. Wayne has a terrifying force here outside the 4th. Shameless getting ready for it. Charge just now finishes. +2 on the way. Wayne coming in from both angles. There is no Storm. Banelings, they roll in. They crash into the Gateway army. Zelt's going to be going down. We ignore. We go straight for the Warp in. And we go straight for the probes. Boys are being pulled. They will evacuate. They will avoid those Banelings, but we shut down everything else. The Archons go down. The Immortals and the Gateway army. And Wayne here in the counterattack will take it. GG gets called. Wayne takes game number 1. GG. GG, and that was pretty close. That was not an easy one there for Wayne. He was at death's door. Shameless almost broke him with that push. It was very impressive. Again, a very Soul Train-esque all-in on 3 bases. Didn't really have a fourth behind it, didn't have any other tech behind it either. Very committed, but just barely didn't work. Just barely. Was close though. Was so close. Yet so far. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Wayne, of course, having a 1-0 lead. As a reminder, this is a best of 3. This is a best of 3. So Wayne just needs one more. Shameless has to take this game here and now to force the ace match. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have... Oh my god. We have our red Zerg player. Our red Zerg representing Starlight Twinkle, leading the series 1-0. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. As Wayne is opting to go for a 15-15. 15 hatch opener here, followed by a 15 spawning pool. A relatively interesting way to open up. It's just a way to securely establish your natural base. It does mean that you're behind gas-wise. It is slightly more inefficient, but you're able to get your bases up where you want them to be. A much more comfortable opener here out of Wayne. And this can lead into roach play, just because your gases will be delayed. We'll see how delayed. Shameless going to be coming in for a scout. Going to confirm the hatchery already in production. He's going to confirm the earlier hatch timing, as well as the lack of gas. See Ice Town in the chat. From my understanding, this tournament was open to all players. But yeah, mainly players from our CIS region. Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania were the ones to get involved, from my understanding. As here we go again, just going to be getting into our gases. Again, delayed for Wayne, but we're going to be prioritizing that. Getting to our 2-base saturation. Behind this Shameless, what kind of opener do we go for? Again, my eyes are mainly on Shameless. This pylon does signify a Stargate opener. It is closer to the edge of the map, closer to get across the map to our opponent. But we'll see if we mix it up with the Twilight Council instead. We shall see. The Overlord has arrived. Stargate is going to be thrown down now. Just because it's a Stargate doesn't mean it has to be standard play. As we saw in the previous game, we did have a Phoenix first, designed to shut down these Overlords, designed to keep Wayne in the dark. So, Shameless clearly willing to mix it up. Clearly willing to spice things up here against his opponent. Rock's going to be knocked down. Third base being taken. Wayne just fortifying himself here, getting to additional queens. Depths have arrived, but we should be able to deal with this without losing too much. There we go, the leagues, they do respond. And again, for the most part, my eyes are on our Protoss player to see what direction we take us in, as the Stargate is about to finish. Now, the second Adept has arrived, so we can one-shot workers. Once again, it is the Phoenix. Phoenix opener out of Shameless. So, similar idea, where his goal here is to shut down the Overlords, is to keep Wayne in the dark and to hide his follower. And again, with that hidden build in game number 1, it almost did break Wayne. I imagine we're going to be doing something different this time, though. Typically in a PvZ, you don't want to be doing the same build in 2 games in a row. Ooh, as we are looking for that Overlord, alas, it is hidden here outside the natural. So Shameless unable to find it yet, and hopefully he does soon, as he is on the hunt. Wayne behind this, just going to be droning up, getting to his queen production. Link speed is on the way, so we're not rushing into roaches. Likewise, Shameless working on his own third base. And it looks like Shameless will finally get on top of that Overlord. Wayne coming in for the scouts. The Phoenix doesn't have too much DPS, so we might be able to dip further into the main. We are edging on closer, and it looks like we won't see too much, though. We have eyes on the Stargate at least, and maybe the Oracle, but not much else. Speaking of, the first Oracle gets across about the Spore is not ready. No Spore, only 1 queen, 5 drones go down. Oh, Wayne caught off guard. Was not ready for oracles. Second oracle on the way. Spores are repositioning. Pretty good damage so far here from Shameless. We have +1 melee in production here for Wayne. And it's the same build. I was like, there's no shot he does it 2 games in a row, right? Nah, Papi, let's go. Robo Forge, no Twilight Council. So once again, prioritizing our upgrades, prioritizing Immortal production. Now, if you remember, in Game 1, get in once again, need 2 more drones. In Game 1, I was theorizing that this should be to get into faster Colossus production and to get into a longer game. But Shameless had his own unique build, had his own unique kind of Soul Train-esque Immortal all-in. So we'll see if he goes the one way or the other. Ooh, as that is a delayed Twilight Council. So it is going to be a different build here out of Shameless. Similar start, but different end result. As we have Adepts threatening that third base. Oracle's pushing towards the main. Twilight Council is on the way. Alongside those gateways. Queens are in position. And we're going to be able to go ham, but we will lose an Oracle. A bit of an overextension by Shameless. Getting a little bit too cavalier there. Is forced back. Wayne, meanwhile, has map control, moving out with his Lings. Going to be threatening the bases here of Shameless. Going for a Bane Bust even. Oh my god. Going straight for the natural, but is going to get scouted. Big scout here from Shameless. Does see it with the Observer. Does see he is aware. We're rotating over. Bane's going to be more Ling, and we have sentries for force fields, and we should hold. Oh! You can see Wayne trying to bait out that force field. Heads towards the third base instead. Clutch force fields here from Shameless. And the Bailey's going to be cleaned up. The Lings are going to be able to go hand though. We get a couple of pros, but not too much more. Good defense. Good defense overall for the Protoss. And we have charge on the way. Okay. +1 charge. I imagine Archons as well. There we go. Temple Archives is thrown down. So charge on Archon going to be the composition here for Shameless. Meanwhile, behind this, Spire. Now, we saw that Wayne wasn't able to make use of this Spire in Game 1 because of the all-in. We'll see if we can get into Mutas this time. Mutas have a lot of potential with this matchup if they go unscattered. If they're unscattered. So Oracle's A dive in. They get a Revelation off. They do head behind the natural base, but they do not scout the Spire. Oh, they go in! As they go in, we do have a massively counterattack. We catch the army! Sentries are exposed. No force fields that were spent earlier. And both sentries go down. We don't get the Immortal, but that was still a good trade here for Wayne. Revelation does get eyes on the Spire. We're fully aware of the would-be Mutas. And Phoenixes are in production. So a good scout for Shameless. Oh, he does lose one of his Oracles. Getting eyes on the fourth base. And he does want to apply pressure, but this army, it's so... like, there's not much here. it's barely an army. We have a handful of Zealots, we have a handful of Archons, a couple of Immortals. We're pushing towards the fourth base. At the same time, a massive Link counterattack, and we are out of position. Shield battery is going to be going down. The Zealots, they get surrounded. At the same time, Shameless is getting damage done across the map. He does catch a Queen. Does get a couple of drones. Oh, but we're going for the base. We're going for the Nexus. We get it surrounded, we're going to bring it down as well. +1 melee Lings, they will have their way with this base. And the Nexus does fall. Just barely. At the same time, Shameless also killed the hatchery. Trading a base for a base. But the Mutas have arrived. And that's a lot of Mutas. Oh my god. 14, 15 Mutas moving out. They will turn back around though. We're going to deal with this army. And this is a one-way trip. There's no way out. The Immortals, the Archons, they're going to be shut down and nothing shoots up. GG gets called as Shameless will lose his army and will lose map control. Wayne will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Game 1 was close. Game 1, Wayne, he barely held on. Here in Game 2, Wayne was a lot more in control here. He was able to have his way with the army of his opponent. Was losing a lot of drones, that's what I will say. There was a lot of economic damage being done by Shameless, that is true. But when it came to the main pushes here, we did feel like we overextended. We just pushed out a little bit too far. Lost our base as a result, lost our army as well. Shameless had nothing left, and Wayne will be the first to advance on out of Group B. GG. Again, Wayne is coming in as one of the favored players in this entire tournament, but we'll see if he can make it. Again, he has already, I believe, dropped a couple of maps in the group stages. We'll see who can meet him, though. Who does meet him in the next round. As from here, we're going to be going and following Shameless into the losers bracket, into the decider match here. I mentioned before we didn't cast it, but Shameless did bring down Nickract 2-1 in a best of 3 to make it to face off against Wayne, and now we have a rematch. We have a rematch between Nickract and Shameless. Let's go.